Why, hello there, my friend. My name's Dan. We're back with another fragrance review. I wanted to review Nautica Blue. Now, Nautica Blue is not a tremendously upscale fragrance or even smells particularly expensive or complicated, but I got it at a discount store. I don't know if it was TJ Maxx or Ross or whatever for, I don't know, some pretty low price, 30, $40, I think it was. And I think I could get it cheaper on a place like Fragrance Net, probably, but I just didn't care. I just bought it because I wanted to review it. So I'll tell you my first impressions when I spray it. First things first, of course, we got to check the atomizer. I actually like this atomizer better than Nautica Voyage. It gives a pretty good spread, very decent. Now, there's a couple things that come to mind. One is that it smells clean and it smells kind of fresh and a little bit aquatic, but it has a little bit of a barbershop thing coming on. Like I've noticed that a lot of barbershops will use like scented aftershaves now and things like that that smell kind of like Axe body spray or um, some kind of cologne. And this smells like very similar in some ways to what they use a lot of the time, a little bit less powdery, um, a little bit better than Axe body spray, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. It does smell kind of like Axe body spray to me. It's in that kind of area of what I think of as kind of like youthful, clean, fresh fragrances. This fragrance does not smell very mature to me. It doesn't smell. It doesn't smell like something that an older man would wear. I think he could, but it smells pretty youthful to me, and very clean, and just kind of light and yeah, inoffensive. I think a young man could wear this, an adolescent could wear this, it'd be perfect. Your teachers aren't going to hate you, your classmates won't be offended by you. It's a good, easy, safe, clean fragrance for young people. That's kind of how I feel about it. Now, there is a aquatic note. I'm not sure if the material used is cologne or helional or I don't think it's maritima because maritima is actually really dirty and gross smelling. I think in extremely low doses you could use it for an aquatic accord, but probably not. It's probably more like cologne, and I think it's called precyclamone B. There's another material that sounds exactly like precyclamone B, but I think precyclamone B is the aquatic one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I didn't bring them out with me, but it's probably cologne and precyclamone B and possibly a touch of helional, making this kind of aquatic accord. And there's almost like a little see with a lot of these aquatic materials, there's almost something that smells a little bit like seaweed in them. It's kind of strange if you smell them on your own. They don't really smell like very appealing, and they smell kind of dirty. Um, and some people might even say a little bit animalic and kind of strange. But um, in the right dosage, they can smell very oceanic, and that material has been used a little bit. Apart from that, I'm getting a lot of allyl amyl glycoate, which is a very, very popular um, pineapple aldehyde that is used. Um, and that's where that pineapple note is coming from on Fragrantica, which I'm happy to take a look at right now, um, just to read. So, Nautica Blue, 3.57 out of 5, not the highest rated. Plenty of votes, 1,942. And Fragrantica says there's a big fruity note and a big woody note with floral, sweet, powdery, fresh citrus, white floral, aquatic, and musky notes. Okay. That surprises me a little bit. This doesn't strike me as a very fruit forward fragrance. There's a little bit of like a sweetness, like bergamot or peach is what it says on here. I don't really get any particular fruit beyond the pineapple from allylamyl glycoate, which really doesn't smell very much like pineapple. It really smells more like aldehydes. It smells like thick, um, kind of misty aldehydes. And I could see why that would be a nice addition to a aquatic underpinning. I think I would use a lot of aldehydes. It also claims to be powdery. And I could see some oak moss being in this. It's not listed. It also says sandalwood, cedar, and musk. And I think they did use some white musks in particular. Um, but I'm also certain they used ambroxan, which is probably also creating some of that, sweetness, right? So I think that this is probably mostly ambroxan. Ice Super is probably what the wood is referring to. I could see there being a little bit of sandalwood in this. Um, but not much. It's not very woody. Really, what you're getting from this fragrance is some aquatic ozonic materials probably being something like a little ozo fluor, and I think it's got a lot of aldehydes, and there's some kind of floral thing happening. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe charismal, anisylaldehyde. I'm sorry, anisal alcohol, hedione, things like that. But really, mostly aldehydic and aquatic is really the central piece of this fragrance. I don't get a ton of powder. I don't get a ton of fruit. I don't get a ton of wood. It's a clean, blue, musky, aldehydic, aquatic fragrance. And I think it's not bad for the price. I think it's pretty good for a young man. And I'm not so sure that anybody else should really go looking for this. I think that there are just better options, and eventually I'll get around to some of them. For someone who's a little bit more mature, with a little bit more um, gravitas to them, who wants something a little bit more upscaled and respectable. Um, that doesn't mean that this is not that. It's not like it's a immature fragrance. It's just a little youthful, and I just think that an older man could get something a little more appropriate. And really, I'm even thinking a man in their mid 20s can probably move on to something a little bit more, you know, a little bit more elevated, a little bit more interesting, a little bit more provocative. This is pretty generic. So, with that being said, I have to offend my cat and lean over and end the stream. But from a value perspective, I think the value is quite good. I'm going to say like 7.5. Now, I've never worn this fragrance, so I really don't know how long it lasts. And my impression is it will sort of evolve into basically a skin scent after 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, just based on the raw materials that I think they used. You'll get some projection from the ambroxan and the Ice Sweet Super, but it's not an ambroxan and Ice Sweet Super bomb. It has those materials, so it will have some sustenance. Projection in the first 2 hours will be pretty good, and it will calm down. Lasting power, you will have aspects of this for quite some time, but you may have to like jam your nose on it to get them, because these aquatic materials really, for the most part, they don't project that much on their own. Some of them do, so it depends on what the ratio of these aquatic materials is, but a lot of them don't actually project that much. And so, you'll have to see, but I think you'll get 2 to 3 hours of projection, but probably like 6 hours on your skin, maybe even 7, where you can still smell it if you choose to. I don't think this one's going to be wafting up and hitting your nose after 2 or 3 hours, but it will still be there. And if you spray it on your clothes, you're going to smell those aquatic materials the next day. They're very tenacious, they last a long time. So you might get some relatively okay performance. You are being so sweet, Boba. Oh my goodness. He's a beautiful, sweet little cat. And yeah, so value's pretty good. Projection kind of mid, maybe even low in terms of how long it lasts. Um, tenacity will be kind of mid. But the scent is pretty good. And do I like it? I actually do kind of like it. I'm going to give it like a 6 out of 10 in terms of how much I like it. Maybe a 5, somewhere in that region. I think it's very decent, especially for the price. So if you're looking forward to more fragrance reviews, sorry I've been a little patchy on them. This channel is designed for me to do basically anything that strikes my fancy whenever I fancy doing it. And part of that is because, yeah, I'm kind of spastic. I have a lot of interests, and I don't have a great personality for just grinding one thing forever. So I will continue to upload fragrance reviews somewhat regularly. I don't know how often, but I'm going to try to do it at least once a week. And there will be times when I do it every day. There will be times when I do it multiple times a week. So we'll just see how it goes. But yes, thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you on the next one. This is Dan versus Everything. Catch you next time. Bye bye.